What's up, everybody? Welcome to Game Moose episode 140. That's not a palindrome. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Turford, alongside the Broccoli Brock McLaughlin, who is currently adjusting his chair and looks very confused.
It's very stiff, like a conversation we're going to talk about later on in the show.
Can we just start this over? I don't want any part of this.
Foreshadowing.
And the foreshadowing disembodied voice you just heard, the ghost with the most, Drew McMillan.
Hey, everybody. What up and stuff.
So, on today's show, but before that, we should actually promote the show itself that you're listening to. So, Game Moose, you can find our podcast every single Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time over at game-moose.com, as well as podcast services around the globe, including Spreaker and Apple Podcasts and everywhere else. If you like what we do, please subscribe, review us, rate us, our podcast. It really goes a long way. And if you don't, that's cool too. If you are watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, all that good stuff. Again, all of this stuff really helps us out. So on today's show, we're going to talk about the PlayStation Classic being announced.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about a weird thing with Toad.
Toad's a video game character. Move on.
And we are also going to talk about Telltale Games. But first, before we get into topic one, I had two questions to really pose to this table.
Oh, boy.
Number one, did either of you guys with your Switches sign up for the trial of Nintendo Online?
Oh, no, I didn't.
I don't even know where my Switch is.
I haven't turned my Switch on in 6 months.
I don't even know. I couldn't find it. I had a flight yesterday, didn't even know where to look.
Wait, I was just going to say, you just went on a flight and you didn't bring your Switch with you?
I've been on like 3 flights lately. I have no idea where that is.
If I was traveling a lot more, I would definitely have mine with me.
Yeah, that's why I'm perplexed.
Yeah.
I just have nothing to play on it. I have zero interest in picking it up right now.
But Fortnite's on it.
There's a bunch
That's fine. You can't play it on a plane.
And also, Fortnite's
You're not wrong.
on it.
It's not good on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's not good on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
So I know a lot of people have been freaking out about Nintendo Online. First of all, with a lot of the newer games like the Capcom Brawler bundle, it barely works. So
Really?
like that game, when you play it online, runs at like 5 frames a second.
Holy fuck.
And it's like super laggy. But what works really well though is the NES games. And what's really cool, and the reason I wanted to bring this up as a PSA, is that if you've ever been interested in playing the Famicom version of all the games that they have, as long as you have an eShop account from Japan, like I do.
Which is very, very easy to do.
Yeah, you don't even need a Japanese address. You just have to say, I live in Japan. When it asks what country you live in. And you can sign up for one for free. As long as you have the online, either the trial or paid for on one of your accounts on your Switch, you have access to all the Famicom versions of the games, including the Legend of Zelda Famicom Disk System version, which has special music, or Excitebyte, which has the ability to save your tracks, the tracks you make, which are things that are not in the NES version. I thought that was cool.
That is really cool. Have you heard this? Someone's already hacked the built-in NES emulator to run like 1 million more games.
That's because apparently it's the same emulator as the NES Classic.
Yes. It's apparently very easy to do, and it is, it's confirmed it's an emulator. It's a very good emulator.
Yeah.
But it's an emulator nonetheless.
Well, and again, it has like the pixel perfect mode, like all the display modes are the same as the NES Classic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense that it would be the same.
Yeah.
It's just still like really weird. Nintendo knows people hacked that version, so why would they do it again?
Well, I mean, it's a software version of it, right? And how the hacks worked last time was a little bit different. But regardless, there it is.
Yeah.
You know what I just say, like Nintendo, it can't be that hard. Like it just at this stage we know, okay, an SNES emulator is going to run fine on this thing too. Like just stop milking us for money. Put out the games we want so we can play them.
We also had a leak the SNES support as part of like the back of a box of one of the Nintendo Switch bundles.
Some Cheerios.
Yeah.
No, wait, no.
If
Not
only.
a box, back of a Cheerios box.
They make pumpkin spice Cheerios, I learned this morning.
They do.
That is disgusting.
Friend of the show, Brandon, was posting about that on the social medias. And he was lamenting that there's pumpkin spice everything because it's pumpkin spice season, motherfuckers.
PSL!
What up? Have you had a PSL yet?
No, I wouldn't put that in my body. My body's a temple, Drew.
I had my first one this morning, get this, even worse, it was one of those shitty ones in the bottle. It wasn't even like the one from the store. I normally don't get them, but my girlfriend bought like a whole bunch of them and then put them in the fridge and then decided she didn't like them. And I was like, well, we spent like $20 on these.
That's the same price as the Nintendo Online.
Yeah. I could have.
There you go. You could have gotten an entire year of Nintendo Online.
I could have gotten Pumpkin Spice Nintendo. You know, let's be real.
There's no reason for me to sign up for Nintendo Online. I just don't I know it's cheap, but it's a waste of money, and it's really shitty.
I actually...
It is a shitty service.
I feel exactly the same way. I do think the NES support is actually really good. Like, I think playing those games feels really good on the console. They're not broken or anything like that, but at this point, I already have a ton of NES.
We bought those games 100 fucking times.
Exactly.
Why don't you just let me play my games from the Wii U and like all the games I've bought it before?
And like
instead of making me buy it again.
Also, why does this need to be a service?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just buy them a la carte?
Or why can't it just be a service on its own? Like kind of like Games Pass is.
Yeah, like Nintendo has one of the best back catalogs of classic video games of all time. Just make the Netflix of Nintendo video games we all want.
And this is kind of it, but tying it to the online service I think is the wrong move.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if this was a service on its own,
it's a good business move.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't suit any of us.
Yeah.
And we'll see how happy people are.
Well, and especially like me, who has like physical copies of almost every one of these games, except for like ice hockey. I don't have that because why would I? Right?
Yeah. Who buys ice hockey? I mean, really.
But the whole reason it's there is to show off the online capabilities, which apparently work quite well. Because friend of the show, Bobby the Nintendo Guru, was playing with some people on stream the other day, and it was super smooth.
All right.
So, other question I had for Brock specifically. He's the one person who might actually have an answer to this.
Yes, I'm still single and looking for all those female listeners at home.
Female
or cute males.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Are you at all interested in Blackout, the Call of Duty Fortnite
not
Battle Royale?
one bit.
No.
If I wanted, I don't want to play with that level of toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
but
I'm not down for it.
I'm interested in the gameplay mode, but as Sloan says, it's not the band I hate; it's the fans.
Yeah.
I refuse to pay money to support that horrible gaming scene.
This seems fair.
I will not be playing that. I will continue to play Fortnite.
Excellent. I meant to ask you that last week, but I totally forgot.
No, not for me.
I drink concentrated OJ.
Oh, cool.
Speaking of concentrated OJ segue,
I think Consolidated's okay.
I think we need to talk about. Speaking of retro games, actually, the PlayStation Classic edition got announced this week.
Good segue.
Hey, journalists, this isn't a fucking great thing. I don't know why you guys are all so excited about this.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Everyone's got their dicks hard for this. I mean, other than, hey, Sony did the thing that Sony always does, which is they just parroted what Nintendo's been doing for a while. And yeah.
Now, let's talk about the 5 games that they announced. They announced there's 20 in total coming.
Yes.
They announced 5.
5 of the biggest, possibly fan servicey PlayStation things they could possibly announce.
Including Jumping Flash.
Well, okay, maybe not
Jumping Flash.
So I
don't think they were the biggest fan service. Like Metal Gear or something would have been huge fan service.
I think that these games...
Final Fantasy VII is the fan service.
But you can play that on literally anything for $5
including
to $10.
Nintendo Switch and Xbox.
Yeah.
You can play Final Fantasy VII on a cardboard box if you try hard enough.
You know what's better about the $5 to $10 version? You can fast forward that shit because it's slow as hell.
Yeah.
Can't do that on the PS Classic now, can you?
Well, we don't know all the features.
But you probably can.
I would be surprised if this is a similar version to what's on like handhelds and stuff like that.
Well, the whole reason, it'll probably be the same as the PS1 Classic version that came to PS3.
Right.
That's
you
probably
can't fast forward.
No, because it's just the same as the original.
I don't know why you would want to sit through that.
Yeah,
it's painful
because it's a good game.
Yeah, but you can speed it up a bit.
What about the friendly night out with Barrett?
Oh, that's a fun. I don't speed that up. No. I let that roll.
You play that at half speed.
Oh yeah.
But I think the games that they announced, other than Jumping Flash or Ridge Racer, are like the games that when I think about the PlayStation 1, those are games that come to mind as like games I remember about that console.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the games I remember fondly, but games I associate with the PlayStation 1. For example, Tekken 3, I think the reason Tekken 3 is one of the games that's announced is because when I think about fighting games on the PlayStation 1, that's like the one that comes to my brain, one of the first ones I think about.
You're not wrong. I think about Tekken 2 when I think about fighting games. When I think about like games on like classic PlayStation games, I think about Tekken 2. And then I think about how much I fucking hate Tekken.
Yeah.
Also that. I think of like Medieval and Spyro and Crash, all games I never want to ever play again.
Yeah.
But Crash is so good.
No, it's not good.
Yeah. Like, they proved that when they re-released Crash, everyone went fucking crazy for it, bought it, and then went, oh, wait, Crash sucks.
No, everyone was, the correct assumption was, oh, crap, Crash is really hard, and we forgot it was this hard.
Did they announce Tomb Raider for this thing?
No. So
there's another game.
So again,
play the old bad version.
The 5 we've got: Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 3, Wild Arms, which is actually a really good RPG that I think a lot of people didn't play.
Wild Arms is a good game.
Yeah.
Wild Arms 3.
Ridge Racer Type 4.
Yeah, Ridge Racer, another classic.
And then Jumping Flash.
Yeah.
Now, here are the games I want.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to regale you with this. Metal Gear Solid, obviously, you mentioned it before. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Fair.
Twisted Metal 2,
Yeah.
because I think you have to have a Twisted Metal game, because I associate that with PlayStation
100%. It's a PlayStation first-party game anyway.
They don't have the rights for anything, though. They've lost everything to it.
Oh, shit.
There's a huge problem with it.
Well, they'll find a way.
They'll
just call David Jaffe.
So.
Call David Jaffe. Because he loves Sony. He loves working with them. Yeah, after the last Twisted Metal game.
I can tell you're a big fan of the Jaffe stream.
You know,
clearly.
you know how much I like David Jaffe. I like him about as much as I like Cliffy B.
You gotta have Symphony of the Night. You gotta have that on.
Yeah.
It'd be weird not to have
It's going to be hard to get it because I don't think Konami's going to play ball with that shit, but who knows?
I mean, it came to backwards compatibility on Xbox. And we actually heard rumors this week it's coming to PS4 as well. So that might actually be a thing. Xenogears.
Yeah.
From Square. Crash Team Racing, which, again, we didn't get in the Crash collection and is probably the best kart racing game ever.
do without Crash.
Did you guys? No, but did you guys play Crash Team Racing though? It was really fun.
Yeah, I don't think
it was like Mario Kart but better.
I don't think we need a knockoff kart racer. No. I don't know. That's just me. You
got to have Gran Turismo 2 because you associate with that with the PS1.
Yep. There's definitely got to be a Gran Turismo game on there.
But then you got to get take this opportunity and get really expensive games like Einhander on here.
Fucking Einhander, yes. That is one of my favorite PlayStation games.
And it's also like $200 to buy a copy.
And a game that is long forgotten.
Another game too, Suikoden 2. You got to get on there, which is like $100 game.
Yeah.
Die Hard Trilogy. You guys played Die Hard Trilogy before?
Oh, God. Nope.
Die Hard Trilogy is amazing. And you know why?
Bruce Willis in it?
It is Bruce Willis. But it's,
I don't think we need that game.
Each of the movies is a different type of game.
Yeah.
So, for example, the Die Hard is basically like a brawler almost.
Just like Power Stone almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Die Hard 2 is a light gun shooter.
Yeah.
And then Die Hard with a Vengeance is like Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
Where you drive around the city and disable bombs.
I mean, these are all good ideas, I guess. In practice, it doesn't really go well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have Tomb Raider. You mentioned it before. Yeah. And last but not least, the greatest of all the games on the PS1, Drew.
Metal Gear Solid.
I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
Siberia.
Okay.
The greatest of all the PS1 games.
Yeah, there was a time where there was a bunch of like shitty PC shovelware that they were just dumping on the PlayStation.
This is something I mentioned to Dan Reichert this week because he's like, man, we got to have Overblood 2 on the PS1.
Yeah.
And then my response to him was, if you're going to go that route, we also need Siberia.
Don't give Dan Reichert any more ideas. Like, please, God. Like, he already has it. We already have enough Dan Reichert problems in the world. Guy was literally the first man to get married at the Taco Bell chapel.
But what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So much.
I can think
Taco Bell is the main big problem.
Quite a few things. Hey, voted #1 Mexican restaurant in the United States.
Yeah. I can't believe that's actually a thing. But I think
the fact that people call Taco Bell a Mexican restaurant, that alone is terrifying.
Well, it's Texas.
Yeah.
Because it was from a Texas news site.
I'm surprised you didn't include a few games on that list.
Yeah.
Ryan?
What? Which ones?
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Driver 2.
Driver 2. Okay.
Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man would be amazing, but that'll be on the Japanese version because it never came out here.
I think that, like, again, if you want to go fan service route, you got to get Pepsi Man on there.
And a Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's true.
2. First one's great.
So you can play the remake that's coming out, or you can spend $120 to play the old shitty version that does not hold up.
As long as you have the really bad voice acting, that's it.
Right? I mean, you got to have those live action cutscenes.
Master of Unlocking.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen those cutscenes in recent memory?
Yes, they're really
amazing.
bad.
They're so good.
What about some Papa Rappa the Rapper?
Yeah,
Rappa
that's
the
one
Rapper.
on Toomba. There's a lot of games.
Ape Escape?
If
you can't have Ape Escape. You know why?
Sega.
No, because the controllers are not the DualShock controllers. And that game specifically requires... No, you can play Metal Gear without it.
Yeah, Metal Gear predates.
It's harder to play.
Yeah.
But you can play it.
Yeah.
That's the other weird thing about this. It's like $130 console in Canada, but they're not DualShock controllers.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Like, it limits the type of games you can have on this. Because there are lots of games on the PS1 that require it.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, there's some good things here. There's some bad things. Oh shit. Let's just put Metal Gear on there. That's all I fucking care about.
Yeah.
Like the PlayStation games that stand out the most to me are Metal Gear Solid, Einhander, Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean,
So you or me?
I also think that there won't
it's
be.
me.
I just got my sense of smell back. Like I didn't have my sense of smell for a real long time because like I had terrible nasal allergies. And now what happens is I smell a really strong smell and it gets stuck in my nose for a long period of time. Like I can't like I went to the concert. I went to the Prozac Aqua concert and all I could smell was cigarette smoke for like a week. And now I cleaned the cat's litter this morning, and that's all I can smell. And it's stuck in my nose, and I fucking hate it.
Nice.
So
I thought for a second there what you were going to tell us is because you lost your sense of smell for so long, it's now back, but it's like heightened.
It is.
Kind of like you're kind of like Daredevil. But
it's
with
exactly
smell.
it. Yeah, I am like Daredevil, but for smell. Yeah,
Yeah.
I look like Daredevil.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I am a trained ninja, so this all makes sense.
This is true.
Well, you know what?
I went to Brian's underground ninja training school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good old Brian.
yeah.
When you were at the underground ninja training school, did
Yeah.
you learn how to drive really fast in the UK, Drew?
Fuck yes, I did, and I'm real good at it now.
Yeah.
By that I mean I'm still for everyone who's playing Forza Horizons 4.
Forza Horizons. Oh, the Walmart leak. It was so good.
Yeah.
No, actually, it wasn't 4. It was Forza Horizons 5.
But that was a Forza Horizons 5. It was like there were Horizons or more than one of them. Yeah, I'm playing that. It's the big thing is with this game is the seasons, right? Like,
Yeah.
Brock, are you playing it? You played it.
I'm playing it.
We're on summer right now, but the game opens with like a little kind of like snapshot of what all the different
That
seasons
was the E3 demo I played that beginning there.
Yeah, and they kind of do that to kind of wet your whistle too, right?
Yeah.
They give you a sense of because like each season has different driving dynamics and has a different like focus on race types. So like summer's got a lot of like dirt and road racing, and autumn is similar, I guess. Winter has got like the snow off road shit, and then spring is back to like mud instead of dirt.
It transitioned to autumn, didn't it? I think on Friday? Or is it still summer?
It's still summer.
Then it's transitioning this week.
Yeah, it's transitioning
Okay.
soon. I think it's transitioning on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're
That's
supposed
weird
to.
that there's like set times for that. Like,
Yeah,
you can't progress it
it's like a weekly reset.
Okay.
So like the seasons last for a week and they're sunk for everybody.
Okay.
And same thing, time of day is sunk for everybody. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird because I played the demo, which
Yeah.
is like the first like 2 hours of the game, which
Yeah.
is really cool if you haven't had a chance to play the demo.
Yeah.
And in the demo, I got to a certain point where they're like, okay, we've got that. Well, set up the Horizon Festival, but you got to come back in autumn for this.
Yeah, they keep saying that over and over and over again.
Which is weird.
So like the whole point of like the first
I've muted everything. I don't hear anything.
the first part of it, the first chunk of the game is them basically the tutorial, right? They're saying
Yeah.
like when autumn hits, that's when. So they're trying to get you to like it's like the training wheels, right?
Yeah.
You have to get your yellow wristband for the Horizon Festival,
Okay.
and then the game opens up.
Okay.
Up until that point, it's all sort of like tutorials and stuff.
Because
like
in the
that.
demo, once you get to that point and you do all the events, it just ends.
Yes.
So I figured
And
that what
this
that
is
meant.
just-
So what I figured what that meant was I couldn't in the full game. I wouldn't be able to progress the game any further until the next week.
I think that's a demo. I don't know. I'm not sure because
What?
I'm not there either. The autumn thing.
How like when you get to a certain point,
Yeah.
like with the Horizon Festival, where in summer, where they're like, "Hey, come back in
Yeah, it's just
in
going to
autumn."
change, and
Yeah.
then the game's going to open.
But then, okay, so it'll change after a certain point, I guess, in the full
like
game.
when the game launches.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So like
That's
things
really
like you can't change your car.
Because you're not online yet.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not
online yet, so you have to
okay.
switch to online.
Yeah. like
Oh, okay.
all
And
the
then
dri-
it's going to go.
Okay.
all the drive avatars that you're seeing are just like simulated. They're not anywhere near real.
Okay.
All that kind of stuff.
so when I ran Sean Capri off the road, that wasn't
That's not
real.
him.
You ran me off the road. I saw you do it.
Yeah, I did that
You
too.
sneaky guy.
I do that.
And my friend Dom and also Brock. So
Mhm.
yeah. That's one thing. This game like creates vendettas against your friends, even though it didn't actually do anything.
I'm really glad there's changing seasons in this game because the location is extremely boring.
You don't like the UK?
It's so boring.
Yeah.
It also
Compared to the
doesn't
last
help.
two, it's so there's nothing going on.
It's this weird fictional like region in the UK too.
Yeah.
It's like kind of grandly non-specific. They just say the UK, and there's some people with English accents and some people with Scottish accents, and there's mountains
Yeah.
and there's hills.
Yeah.
So like I guess, North England, Scotland.
And I loved Horizon 3. I thought it was one of the best games of the year.
Yeah.
This, I just am not. It's very much the same game, just but in an ugly location.
Yeah.
Nothing I've driven through so far, I've been like, wow, that's dope.
And to be fair, it's tougher for us to be excited about the UK because it's so similar to the environment we currently are living in. Like
but
Ontario
the last one
is
was
similar.
Australia.
No, I know.
And it was cool.
Yeah,
the second one was.
That's what I mean.
North
It's like
America.
different than here. But if
Yeah.
you lived in Australia, that'd be like, oh, I'm just driving in the backyard, kind of.
So I made a point to like drive out to the big city that's on the map, and it's not really that big a city.
No.
It's kind of like a small English town almost. I have had a lot of fun destroying hedgerows and like little rock fences and stuff like that.
Yeah, the destruction in this seems like really awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah. And you know, just like anything, like the game's like ends up being this like hybrid between simulation and arcade, leaning a little bit more towards arcade. I mean, if anything, this game reminds me a lot of this style of game reminds me a lot of Need for Speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be real. Like, this is like Need for Speed, but fun and kind of lighthearted, as opposed to having like that weird dark.
I also like Forza more than Need for Speed.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan. There's a lot of cars in this game.
400 and some odd.
My biggest thing is all I want to do is listen to my Spotify music.
Yeah.
But I can't mute the goddamn radio. I can move it over and you can get it off, but then it always comes back every time you finish a race.
That's
and then you have to
annoying.
hear the same stupid song and you can't go all the way to the bottom. So all the volume can only go down to 1, which does not mean it's muted. You can still hear it. So I've like muted everything I can because I don't like the sounds in the game.
Remember when it was really easy to do that on the Xbox 360?
Yeah.
You could turn off the music in every single game
Yeah.
and then literally just play MP3s that were on your hard drive.
Yeah.
That's how I used to play
Wait,
all the
you
Need
can't
for Speed
disable
games.
the music in this game?
No.
That's what he's saying.
You can, like in a race, you can push it over.
No, I mean, there's no
but, like,
option in the
menus,
options to remove
you
off
can't
music?
disable it.
That's really
It's
weird.
so annoying. There's a bunch of UX design things that like
There's like
get rid of this, like make this a lot more accessible.
that's like a standard feature in like every game.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, especially racing games, right?
yeah, especially racing games. All I want to do is listen to my own music, and I don't want to hear they're really
or like what if
what's
you're
trying to be cool.
What if
music
you're
they got going on.
like streaming, for example? Because streamers, one
There's
thing
a
they have to
streamer
worry
mode.
about is like, so there's a streaming mode that removes the music.
I don't know.
Because something that streamers are starting to run into is copyright claims on their archive videos because they featured copyright music from the game.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like,
I'll
there's
try
got to
the
be some
streamer
reason to
mode,
turn
but
it
right
off.
now it's really annoying. I don't know why I can't just mute that.
Yeah,
We couldn't
That
stream
seems really
until
weird.
Friday evening anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I was away.
yeah.
5 hours of Uber and 2 flights later
Nice.
for a meeting.
I'm so sorry.
One of the things that really caught me off guard was I forgot that this game does the thing where it knows what your name is.
Yeah. Right when it's like, hey, Brock.
Yeah, it was like, and for me it was, hey, Andrew, and I'm like, you're not my mom.
Yeah.
Nobody calls me Andrew. It was really weird.
I was very thankful in Horizon 3 where you could change your name to whatever you want, and then it would say that name instead of my name.
You can
because it's creepy.
You can still do that, but it automatically looks at like whatever your account information is. So like I don't know where it pulls it from. Like
It's all I know is I figured it took my Forza 3 save data and I inputted it there.
so I don't have any
pull it over.
Forza 3 save data.
Then I
So
have
like
no
I had to
idea.
have pulled it from like
the Microsoft account.
My Microsoft account?
I guess
Yeah.
so.
That's
There's
a little weird.
huge list of names on there.
Yeah. Yeah. So but clearly the right answer is to change it to Count Driftula.
Clearly.
Because you can, and yeah.
Will she say that?
Yes.
Really?
It's one of the nicknames, Count Driftula.
Oh, unreal.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
It's the right name.
I want to
there's
win
no
this
other-
race.
So I'm Count Driftula, and my license plate says sex crime.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do like that it's nice and long. You can really.
Yeah, you can really get it there.
I also had Karate Dog.
I also like that it's longer than in Forza Horizon 3 because I can actually fit nerf this on my license plate this time.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's like 500 different roads in the game. So that's 200% bigger than Horizon 3.
Yeah, the map. Looking at the map,
I played the
looks
shit out of Horizon. Like I put easy 100 hours into 3. Like this just feels like the exact same game, but with seasons.
Yeah.
Which in theory will, because they say like the seasons will change the terrain and what roads are accessible and stuff like that. Some roads might get snowed over and stuff like that. So
It's a hard game to review though when you can't play all the seasons. Like when you don't know how the game's gonna work.
we will only get
We'll
by
get
the
two.
time the review embargo is up, we'll have played 2.
Yeah.
and that tiny little snippet.
Winter is the most exciting one for me.
Yeah, because
Winter looks like the biggest change.
Winter looks like the one that like opens up and like the lake freezes over and you can drive across.
Especially with after Horizon 3, because really the only time you saw snowy environments in that game was with the Blizzard DLC,
which was amazing,
which was awesome.
Yeah. So
the storyline seems very similar to the last one too. It's just very bro-y and douchey.
The whole idea of the Horizon Festival is so absurd to me. The whole idea that like all these people, like when you listen to the DJ, which you probably have,
I turned off, man. I couldn't deal with him. He was annoying as hell.
They're terrible. So there are 5 radio stations, like 3 EDM stations, 1 rock station, and I don't know what the other one is.
The one just plays churches and like electro rock. It's so bad.
I like churches though.
I don't. I like when their DJ is like, wow, everyone, look at him come around the corner. Everyone put up your hands, and you look and there's nobody standing there. You're like, this is stupid.
Yeah, they shoot confetti at you.
Yeah.
But this whole idea that like you're like running roughshod over this town, like you're like smashing through hedgerows, destroying people's like property, like spinning out in your Subaru, going through the woods, destroying the environment. And then the notion that everyone's really excited you're there.
Yeah.
Like, if this were any town in the real world, this is why, like, it's such an absurd fantasy, because you cannot have the Horizon Festival anywhere in the real world, because people there would lose their fucking minds. Everyone
would
lose
it when they fucking Molson Indy comes to Toronto.
Yeah.
It's too loud.
As someone who lives right next to it, it's very inconvenient.
I figured they're adding motorbikes. Like one of the DLCs is going to have motorbikes for sure.
Well, especially because there's that weird motorbike part in the beginning, right?
Which was cool. I asked at E3 and I couldn't get an answer. Motorbikes have got to be coming for DLC. Yeah, for sure.
They're probably. I can see it would be one of those things they're trying it, and if it doesn't work, they'll throw it out the window. But definitely, there's motorbike assets in the game, and there's all this like motocross stuff in it. Where like there's like
little jumps and stuff your car can't go through.
Yeah, there's like rallycross stuff in it, so like it's built for it. Like they can just throw them in.
I also like at the beginning when you get to pick a car, it's like a Honda, I think like an Audi, or a Charger. What the hell car do you think everyone's gonna choose? Why on earth would you pick a Honda?
It's a Ford Focus RS.
Ford Focus.
An Audi TT coupe and a Charger. To be fair, if you're a gearhead, you will know that the Ford Focus RS, especially the one from the UK, is a very good car.
Great.
All the ones we get here in North America are garbage. So our view of what the Focus is as like it's like a cheap like sedan, right? It's your college car.
Yeah.
But out there, it is like, it's especially the RS version is like a performance car. Like people love it. But I can see why they chose it, because it is considered like up there with the other hot hatches, the Golf, the Civic, right? But it's kind of an odd choice when you have a really nice like premium automobile and an Audi TT, a classic muscle car, which to be fair, you'd have to be a goof if you thought you were going to race against anybody in the UK in a classic muscle car.
Yeah, I am, because it looks the best. I'm never picking a Ford Focus, ever.
Yeah. I'm driving a Subaru.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because they make you switch during the rally section.
Yes, they do.
And then you get stuck with it. Yeah. Until you can switch your car, which you have to unlock.
I told Sean Capri.
Yeah.
My review of the game right now, not the best game I'm playing that starts with F.
You're also playing Fusion Frenzy 2?
Yep. Fusion Frenzy 2.
Very good.
Leaked.
So I mean, I am enjoying what I'm playing so far. It's been honest for me. It's been a long time since I played a game like this, so like I don't feel burned out on it.
Yeah, because you said you didn't play Horizon 3.
No. The last Forza game I played was Forza 7, right? So like I haven't played an open world like racing game like this in a long time.
Yeah. Especially coming from Forza 7, which is such
so it's a breath of fresh air to me.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Nice.
That's all I have to say about that.
All right.
Reviews up Tuesday.
Count Driftula.
There you go. This Tuesday?
25th.
Sure, maybe.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So people know. Check out game-moose.com for all their gamiest, moosiest, newsiest.
Or you go to Rockstar Gaming.
Or rockstargaming.com.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Got weird.
All right. So we've got a bit of a sad topic. We got to talk about this.
Yeah, sure, if you say so.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So Telltale Games, we were totally shocked the other day to hear that Telltale Games has apparently, for all intents and purposes, has closed its doors.
I don't know if shocked is the right word, but
I mean, a lot of us were.
It has closed its doors, leaving only 25 people left to work on Netflix.
They
had 250 employees, and they cut down to 25.
To 25. I mean, essentially, they've gutted the studio. And this is just because they have, like, some contractual obligations to finish.
Well, just the Netflix show, specifically. Yeah. It sounds like Walking Dead, its final season is canceled midway through.
Yeah.
So, like, what are they going to do for people who had already purchased it, I wonder?
Yeah, well, I at this point, it sounds like the only reason why they're leaving the 25 people left is probably because they stood to lose more money by canceling the contract than they did by fulfilling it.
Yeah.
So otherwise, they're cutting their losses everywhere else.
You will probably not get refunded for Walking Dead.
Yeah.
They did talk about, they issued a statement stating that it was due to lack of sales combined with the R&D tech from researching a new engine.
Or,
because,
as I like to call it, hubris.
I'm just going to shake my head.
It was, like, we all know what the problem here was. They bit off way more than they could chew.
Yeah.
They licensed way too much, way too fast, and pumped out way too many games. Mm-hmm. It is the same mistake that every studio that's ever annualized a franchise has made, right? Like, you can't just keep cranking out the same games within the same sort of, like, limited scope. As great as those games were, as amazing as Tales from the Borderlands was, at a certain point, you were going to spread yourself way too thin, and you cannot sustain it, and you're going to burn out your audience, and that's exactly what happened, right? And we said it like a dozen times. You said it way back when Guardians of the Galaxy came out. You said, they're just putting out too many fucking games. And every time they announced a game, we're like, guys, just stop. Like, focus on doing what you're doing right, right? And that was it. And at a certain point, like, they were a niche studio too. Like, they never grew beyond the formula of what they were doing. They made that big leap from what they were doing with sort of like traditional adventure games, from like Sam and Max to
it was a lot of LucasArts people when LucasArts shut down.
Yeah. So they went for they were doing the Sam Max stuff, which was great, but again, that had a limited scope, and they all knew that. And then they jumped to sort of like, they really sort of reinvented the adventure game style when they did Walking Dead, which was incredible. And then they never grew past that point, right? There was never any big shift past that.
That was still their best one.
Yeah.
In the canon.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's come close to like the first two Walking Deads.
I mean, the fact that they got as many years and as many games as they did is a goddamn miracle.
Especially out of the engine that they had forever. Like,
well, when they said, hey, we're starting a new company, and all we're going to do is make adventure games, and we're doing like new Sam and Max games, everyone went, are you fucking crazy? Like, the adventure game genre nosedived for a reason.
Yeah, like it was dead at that point.
Like, beyond dead.
Like, even more so than rhythm games are now, just to put in perspective for people who weren't paying attention to games.
Well, historically speaking, adventure games hit their high point in 1988, right? Like, that, like, more adventure games came out in 1988 than any other video game, like, genre ever. And then after that, everyone, because there was, like, the biggest video game company in the world was Sierra, right? Next to them was LucasArts. That was all people were playing. And then people went, well, I want something different. And then Doom came out, and everyone went, oh, wait, you can play fun action games on the PC? And then that was the beginning of the end for adventure games. The fact that Telltale lasted as long as they did, like I said, is a goddamn miracle. And they needed to get more strategic, closer to this time, instead of just focusing on volume.
Right. Which is what they were doing this year. That's why I thought that they were going to be okay. Because this year, they were just focusing on researching the new engine, which they did for Walking Dead, and then putting out the Walking Dead final season, and then the Netflix show. Those were their only games this year.
I kind of feel like them relying on their...
This year?
No, that was last year.
Yeah.
Oh. It's been sitting on my hard drive for a long time.
That wrapped up like December of last year.
Oh, wow.
So like this year, Telltale's only game is the Walking Dead final season.
Probably for a good reason. I feel like that's probably one of their biggest problems, was their dependence on their own hardware or their own software and their own engine.
Yeah, because I think that I think that more than anything probably is what did them in. Kind of like what happened with THQ, where they bought too many UDraw tablets and then couldn't sell them. Well,
I mean, developing your own engine is really costly these days, which is why most companies don't do that, right? Most platforms either license or work on a heavily modified version of an existing.
Like, there's a reason why Life is Strange, for example, is programmed in Unity.
Yeah,
like because it works with every platform and it's cheap.
Yeah, Yeah, like Unity's huge, right? Yeah. Like Night in the Woods is Unity, right? Like there's a million games that are Unity, and if you're going to do something that simple, use fucking Unity. Like it's rock solid. It's easy to. The reason why it's called Unity is because it's easy to port to any console. Because that's their whole focus. I mean, I've developed in Unity for God's sake. It's not that hard. I don't know why they were so laser focused on creating their own 3D technology, especially when they were notorious for how not reliable it was. Right? Yeah. I mean, that was the touch point every single time. Is like I would hear people say, "Oh, this new game is out. I don't know if I like the story." Well, there's something to debate there, but my save got corrupted, or
when we talked about Batman, like the final episode barely worked for you.
I couldn't finish most games because their like episodes would get so screwed up and be so broken beyond like repair. Yeah, it was painful.
Like you're not the only one I've heard that.
But
from.
it didn't never. They never got reviewed. They never got any coverage because no one cared about the games. They fell off.
Yeah,
big time.
Only when they started doing like really like when they did Batman the first time around, it was like this is a Batman story we haven't heard before. This is really interesting, right? But they didn't take enough of those risks. They instead took the other bad risks, like, oh, we're going to develop a new engine. That was...
Scheduling hurt, too. Episodes would come at random, months and months down the road.
It was the one thing that, like, the only games that are episodic that have done really, really well have always stuck to a schedule. Typically, they've been completely developed by the time they come out.
That's why it was really interesting to see The Walking Dead final season, because they did... have an exact schedule for it. It was like all four. There's only 4 episodes this season. Here are all 4 dates they're coming out before the first episode came out.
Yeah.
So to basically defeat that.
And it sucks. A lot of people lost their job, and a lot of those people were really talented. There were some great things there. Yeah. The studio had a higher than average standard for women versus men.
That's awesome.
There's a ton of women that work there. They're hiring up until a week ago, which is fucked to hear. That sucks.
You know what that tells you? How mismanaged the studio was.
So that's the problem, and it comes to the top, and it's not the people at the bottom. I mean, they probably didn't want to make those decisions either, and now that working on another engine probably hurt them in the long run, right? Because they don't have that Unity experience they lost out on.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I hope they land on their feet. People seem to have cared a lot more about this than Capcom Vancouver shutting down, which is the same amount of people. Like, no one reached out, but I've seen, like, Ubisoft's taking everyone out for drinks that worked at Telltale this week and having a job fair, and Guerrilla Games is all over that.
And the Telltale thing happened around the same time as the Capcom.
Yeah, they were both this week.
Thing.
Yeah. And another studio shut down. I can't remember what it was. It was another smaller studio, about 50 people.
I think I missed that.
But, so it's 3 studios in the same week, which sucks.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Capcom Vancouver was working on.
They were working on Dead Rising 5.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed?
They announced that a long time ago.
We won't see that game.
They announced it when they said that they were reducing staffing there.
Well, actually, we probably will see it because they did announce, the Capcom said as part of the closure, and the reason for the closure was that they're moving the Dead Rising development back to Japan.
Right.
Just like the first game.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It sucks though.
I'm assuming they'll delete all the assets because
I would assume that game's starting off.
It's a very bad game.
Likely they probably got to a point where Capcom Japan took a look at it and went, "This isn't working, guys. 4 was a problem. This is extra not working," and then they went boosh and flushed it.
Which if Telltale can't keep it up and Capcom Vancouver can't keep it up, support more indie developers. Yeah, because it's hard out there.
Yeah. It's hard out there being a pimp, you know?
Fucking hard. Not every game is Fortnite. That's why we're seeing so many Battle Royale games and so many, they need microtransactions and loot crates to keep a lot of these things alive.
Well, again, this is why Epic can do what they can. Epic can gamble and lose because they have a giant billion-dollar company behind them, right? Capcom can't do that. Telltale especially can't do that. So this is why these people are so
Telltale was being owned by Warner Brothers, was it not?
I think they had a licensing deal with Warner Brothers, but I don't think they were whole.
I don't think they were owned or anything like that.
Yeah.
So is The Walking Dead part of Warner Brothers? I don't think so, but
no, I think it's just owned by Skybound.
But Warner Brothers is doing the PR for Walking Dead.
I think they're publishing it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But because they sometimes publish Telltale games.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But like Guardians, for example, was published by Disney.
Right. That's why they had publishing partnerships, which is why they got Batman because of their publishing.
Because again, like the Minecraft example with Netflix, that part of that deal is it's being published by Netflix on their platform in association with Microsoft.
Yeah, but this you will see less of this right? As like Telltale was sort of like one of the last big independent studios that didn't have its own publishing arm, right? You kind of need the financial backing to make that sense to make sense to sort of like for the risk to be mitigated. You need to have a lot of sort of diversity. You need to have a lot of different titles being put out, and small companies can't do that.
Yeah. Like this is the reason why THQ Nordic is going around buying these companies at fire sale prices, or these properties, because for that reason they can basically be like the big publishing arm for these smaller titles. Yeah, and especially because THQ Nordic is backed by an even bigger company. Yeah, which is why they're able to do that.
Big media multinational conglomerate thing. Yeah. So how long until THQ Nordic buys Walking Dead?
Probably never. Well, not until Walking Dead is like a fire sale.
Yeah. The reality is that
they just bought Alone in the Dark this week.
Yes.
Which of course is like that IP isn't worth anything right now.
No one cares about Alone in the Dark.
Especially like after the movie and then that really bad game on 360.
God. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Tara Reid in her finest role.
Oh yes. Remember when she got a really really weird boob job and then everybody saw like how she had a botched boob job at like because she was really drunk at a P Diddy party, and then everyone went like, she's just sad. I don't want to pay attention to her anymore.
I used to love her. I discovered I was into women when watching American Pie when I was 8 years old in my basement.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. Yes, it did.
Yeah. For me, it was Allison Hannigan, but I'm a weird nerd.
That's fair. She's pretty hot too.
Makes sense.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It was Betty White and the Golden Girls. Did it for me, baby. Skirt!
I'm more of a Blanche guy. The whole fucking thing sucks. But again, they made some really obvious and really stupid mistakes. Yeah. I mean, those mistakes aren't the fault of all the people who are losing their jobs, though. I mean, ultimately, those are the people that suffer the most, which is why I say, like, people will disagree with me, including most of the people in the industry. They need a fucking union. They need a union so they can help like with these kinds of situations. It will soften the blow when they do stuff like this. But the reality is that the way the industry works is you set up a studio and all the risk is on that studio. And if the game doesn't work out, you fire everybody. All those same people get hired again. Yeah. Just like it just ends up being the fucking shell game of employees. And then you can just shut down a studio and then hire them all again for lower wages because they're desperate now. Like it just all these things just allow for labor exploitation. Now, I mean, granted, that's not exactly what's happening here. No, but unions can do things like soften the blow of these sorts of things,
especially like in this case because the employees aren't even receiving severance.
Yes,
or like their insurance runs out next week.
Yeah. And nobody's advocating for those people collectively, right? Mm-hmm. There's no collective bargaining unit for the employees of Telltale. Right. There's nobody who's in like, we're going to be in like the bankruptcy hearings or the liquidation hearings saying, no, your priority is to your employees. Like, fuck your liabilities elsewhere. Like, this is crazy. Like, no one's fighting for these people together. Like, I don't know. This is what I think. I realize that the union is a dirty word for a lot of people, and they think it means like, the Reds are going to come knocking on your door and, that you might think I'm an evil communist. Well, you know what? I am a communist and I love fucking unions. So
I don't think we can have you on the show anymore.
Oh God. Brock's coming with me because
I gotta walk with you on the union, baby. I gotta go to the picket line with you.
He's in the union. So you fire me from the show, Brock goes too. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of a union. Yeah. I'll see you out there.
Unioned. Yeah.
You've been unioned.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't have a good segue, so Drew, tell me about your next topic. What's going on with Toad?
Yeah, he's a really great video game character. I really like him in Mario Kart. Like, what do you think?
Oh, Brock? Yeah, he's always my go-to in Mario Kart, though, for real. Yeah, I like the way he protrudes out of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, just standing upright.
It's really interesting.
It reminds me of something.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
I definitely put my finger on it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I find really interesting is a lot of outlets are talking about Toad right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, Polygon did a really great article about him. You can go read that.
Yeah. Captain Toad's one of my favorite games. I've been very adamant on talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain is a good game, but I mean, Mario Kart is really where you want to focus your You're Captain Toad.
For sure.
You know what? I think Stormy Daniels is writing a book about Captain Toad.
That would be literature that you'd be into.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something about Donald Trump too in the book.
Yeah. I don't know. He features in it somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. If only I could remember.
I always wondered, because we hear a lot about Toad in Super Mario 2. He's there, and he's like the average. But let's be realistic. Like, he's not really that. He's shorter than almost all the other characters in the game.
Yeah. And you've always wondered if he could take his head off.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And especially, like, he seems to be smaller than average.
He is
But in the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, he does take his hat off.
He does take his hat off.
Yeah.
Yes.
That shouldn't happen.
No, it shouldn't happen. It's really weird. No, with the head gone, it's real weird.
Yeah.
I mean, he has hair on
out there. Yeah, there's some hair on there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some hair on that shaft. Yeah. I mean, mushroom stem.
Yeah. Some people have described Toad as being Yeti-like, I think. So that's interesting.
He's very small in that game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's smaller than average.
He's very smaller than average, yeah.
Like if you were to average out like Mario and Peach and Luigi, Toad is smaller than all of them.
He is.
So
he comes up to like the crotch area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is definitely factual.
Yeah.
So, very interesting character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting character.
Good talk.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, in that description, you mentioned Polygon. Polygon had an interesting report this week, Drew, about a game that
Toad lives in Luigi's pants?
I always wondered, because we don't really see much about Toad and where he lives. Do you think does he live in a house?
No, we know where Toad lives. He lives in Peach's Castle.
He lives in...
Oh, wow.
Which is interesting, because the Peach's Castle is almost like the White House of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite interesting. Yeah.
It's true, yeah.
So he almost like he lives in the capital. The capital of the... Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought Peach's Castle is a metaphor for, yes, what's underneath Peach's skirt.
You're calling that Peach's Castle?
Yes.
All right, okay.
I call all vaginas castles.
Yeah. You raise the drawbridge?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, anyways.
Yeah.
Polygon.
Yeah, Polygon.
So they had an interesting report about Shadow of the Tomb Raider this week.
Yeah.
So before we get into this, I should preface that this article that we're going to talk about really quickly is about the end of the game.
Yeah. So there's some minor spoilers here.
Yeah.
If you're wondering... Lara Croft doesn't die at the end of Tomb Raider 3. For
Spoiler alert.
I was almost there, though.
You mean the prequel to all the other Tomb Raider games? She doesn't die at the end of it?
That is true.
Shocking.
Yeah, accurate.
So there was an interesting thing that came from the after credit scene, because there is an after credit scene, because there is in almost every video game these days.
Yeah.
And it seems like some of the content was cut from it. So there was basically it's basically when we see the original unpatched ending, which you can see if you play the game and play if you play through Shadow of the Tomb Raider unpatched, the ending will still be there. So if you have the disc, for example, you could put it in, play through the finale of the game, and then it'll be there. So what's interesting about this ending is that basically the ending that's in the game leaves it very open, but in the ending that they cut, it basically put the cap on the Tomb Raider reboot trilogy, and then basically sows all the seeds for it basically to just go and flow into Tomb Raider 1.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what this game is supposed to be setting up in the first place. There's lots of hints and story details in the environment of Rise of the Tomb Raider that are all about the events leading up to the original Tomb Raider game, which is something that me, a longtime Tomb Raider fan, totally freaked out over. Like, it was really cool that they put so many subtle hints to the events that happened in other Tomb Raider games.
Yeah.
But mostly the original.
Yeah, like the part where she goes to Atlantis and fights dinosaurs on the moon.
There's no moon. There's no moon in that game.
There's dinosaurs,
there's got to be a moon. There's nighttime, and you can look up at the sky.
You don't go to the moon. It's not Final Fantasy IV, Drew.
They should go to the moon. They should work that into.
I think every game they should.
I think the next game should be Tomb Raider Goes to the Moon.
Yeah. I like that. That's a great title. Yeah. Shadow of the Moon.
Yeah.
Dark of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark of the Moon.
Drew loves Dark of the Moon as a name.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about this is there's no other video game I can think of where they patched out an after credit scene.
Yeah, it's really weird.
This, where they completely changed the meaning of the after credit scene.
Yeah.
Again, basically they patched it in such a way to basically not pigeonhole that the idea that this is the end of the trilogy, even though they'd been telling us all up to the launch of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, this would be the end of the trilogy.
I think it was probably patched so that it would give them the freedom to do what they wanted for the sequel.
Yeah.
Because this like points at a very specific thing for what they would do next.
Yeah.
Right. So,
or it wouldn't be what they would do next. They would basically have to either remake the original game,
right,
or they would jump farther into the future, kind of like what Tomb Raider Legend did, for example.
So, like, I don't think they wanted to pigeonhole themselves too much because, like, if they were, you know, and then at that point, what is it? Like, is it just a remake, or
like without this?
How much of a re-envisioning of the original do you make it?
Whereas instead, this way, they could have a second trilogy that takes place before Tomb Raider 1 if they wanted to.
Yeah. Or go in a completely different direction.
Or go in a different direction, for sure.
Yeah, just like the when she becomes the Tomb Raider, the fiction changes completely.
Yeah,
so
because we've seen that type of thing before with something like Metroid Prime, for example.
Yeah.
Which is in between Metroid 2 and 1 and 2, but before Super Metroid.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It's a
really weird timeline.
And we didn't know that until the end of Metroid Prime, where they set up like, oh yeah, like here's what's really going on, which is so weird in almost a similar manner, but without the patching out.
Yeah.
Part.
Exactly.
But yeah.
So
I don't know.
That's pretty much all I have to say about this.
What I'd like to see is a Tomb Raider game where she goes to the moon and gets phase-on energy and becomes the Dark Tomb Raider on the dark of the moon.
Well, no, the Dark Tomb Raider fights her.
And her and Luigi catch ghosts.
But what about
Tomb Raider, Dark of the Moon, Haunted Luigi Mansion?
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough walking around you could do on the moon, though. Because the new one, all you do is walk around and press X a few times, and there you go.
You also climb up the side of cliffs.
You could do that on the moon.
Okay.
You
climb up.
You can also cover yourself in mud and hide in mud bushes and then stab people in the neck.
Wait. Mud grows on bushes?
Yes. Well, just they're mud-covered bushes.
Mud-covered bushes.
Because that would be very quiet.
How did you get the mud on the bush?
I don't know. It's Peru. It happens. In the jungle.
There's some really cool visuals in that game. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
A lot of people talking about that game. That game.
Very divisive game.
Yeah.
Because, again, some of us really like it and some of us don't. And that's totally cool.
Fortnite season.
It's totally cool.
Season 5 got extended by 2 days.
Wow.
You got till 27th.
Wow.
Until the 27th.
That's very sad.
It is if you aren't leveled up enough yet.
Kind of like how I'm
400 plus 400 extra experience points weekend.
Just like how I'm lamenting the wipe on Magic Arena that's happening tomorrow.
Yes, that's happening.
Because it's going into open beta on Friday.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting because that also means the new set's coming out on Friday. Which is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because there have been a lot of really cool cards from it.
Ravnica.
Return to Ravnica.
Yeah. So many Ravnicas. It's just like and there's now a D&D setting for Ravnica, which is cool. Yeah.
It also means everyone can play.
We should play some D&D, Brock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Who's going to DM
I got
now?
nothing to do.
Me.
I literally don't sleep at night. I have nothing to do.
You should.
I'm on my 8 fucking rewatch of BoJack Horseman in the last 2 weeks.
Probably say you reviewed that.
I did,
and that is on your website, and it is a very compelling read.
You should go read
it.
You should go to BrockMcLaughlin.com.
I'm working on some other stuff. BoJack. You know what I saw at the airport yesterday?
Did you see Alan Alda?
No. No.
Vin Diesel?
No, I didn't. The disembodied voice of Mr. Peanut Butter on the show. He was going through security with me at the same time.
Oh, no.
And some lady, he tweeted about this too, so I knew it was him. Some lady dropped her suitcase down the stairs and it sounded like gunshots going off and everyone started screaming and running like crazy. And I did not. I kind of laughed about it.
Who's the voice of Mr. Peanut Butter?
Good question.
I can't remember his name.
His name is...
I know the voice. For sure.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Watch BoJack Horseman and cry.
Okay, cool.
His name, Paul F. Tompkins.
Paul F. Tompkins.
Yes.
Paul Tompkins is dope, man.
Yeah.
He does a great interview show where people drink cocktails and they talk to him.
He was coming in for Just for Laughs.
Did you know that Paul F. Tompkins also featured quite heavily in the original Tenacious D HBO TV series?
I did not.
He is the guy who announces the bands at the bar where Tenacious D plays open mic every Friday.
Oh.
And the whole joke is that they're a terrible band and everybody hates them.
Yep.
But they think they're the best band in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're the greatest rock band in the world.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like a queen.
All right.
Smells of shit.
Wow.
I was harvesting a tomato.
Anyways.
That's probably one of the most obscure Tenacious D songs.
So before we go,
yeah,
Drew, there's something of a PSA we got to tell people about.
We do?
We have reviews coming up. Review season is happening.
It's review season, yeah.
Well, no, we need people to pay attention.
Video games.
I think the PSA we need to give people is that Donald Trump's penis looks like a toad.
not the animal Toad. It looks like Toad the character.
Toad. Yes.
From specifically Stormy Daniels said from Mario Kart.
Yes.
That's what we were being so coy about earlier. If you didn't get
Secrets out of the bag.
Yeah. Capri, that one was for you.
PSA was the wrong word to use.
Yeah.
Anyways, Drew, we have reviews coming up.
It's video game season.
Let's talk about them.
Okay. I'm working on a review for Destiny Forsaken. Even though most of people's other reviews are out, there's still lots to talk about. So I'm going to write a review.
Well, you and I are in the same boat because my World of Warcraft review, I finished it.
Ooh.
But I delayed it.
Okay.
Because of the nature of where the game is right now.
Yeah.
I decided to wait until this week to publish that.
There's one more big thing that's coming in with Destiny that they're obviously like kind of waiting on. So there's like a wave based mode in one of the areas in the well there that like they keep hinting that once we do enough of those waves that it's going to open up a new activity. Mm-hmm. I could wait until that happens, or I could wait until I play the raid, but that's never going to happen. So I'm just going to talk about the game and how I feel about it and why I keep playing it.
Sweet.
Also, what else?
So also Forza Horizon.
Forza Horizon is coming. Well, I'm playing it and we'll review it as soon as I don't know if it'll hit on Tuesday because like I kind of want to experience the other seasons, but I can at least do I might do like a multi-stage.
You could do hey, like byline at the top. Hey, by the way, this is just of the first two seasons.
I might do sort of like a multi-stage kind of thing with that. Like do like
we can always update
chunks. Also Starlink. I'm going to do a review of Starlink.
Sweet.
Which is a video game, a Toys of Life game from Ubisoft. The fuck, which is a little weird, but you know. Nice. And I'm gonna go to a Starlink event. Are you gonna go to a Starlink event?
Yeah,
I'm going to Starlink.
You played any Starlink?
I have not.
Oh,
okay.
You might not want to review Starlink.
We'll find out.
Come on.
We'll find out.
But Brock, that's part of the joy of reviewing a game.
That is the fun of reviewing games. I like video games. I like spaceships.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to do something really exciting. We're going to the launch of Assassin's Creed Odyssey at Ubisoft Toronto.
Yep, which is going to be sweet. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I will be reviewing the game for the site as well. So get hyped for that. I also have another game in my possession I just received yesterday.
Oh.
So I'll be reviewing Disgaea 1 remastered on PS4.
Holy shit.
This week.
Wow.
But Disgaea 1 is a game I'm very familiar with, spending 300 hours with that game.
There you go.
So, I literally played it for 5 hours yesterday.
What is Disgaea?
So Disgaea is it's from our friends at NIS.
It's a visual novel.
No.
It's not a visual
novel. It is a strategy RPG.
Okay.
And it's a strategy RPG that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very over the top. Your characters can reach level 99,999.
This is why you told me all about this.
You can stack all your characters on top of each other and then throw them at the enemies. It's great.
Oh.
So
a man just yelled at me through my phone. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And interrupted you.
Yeah. So that'll be on the 2nd. I'll have the review for that.
Okay.
And then Assassin's Creed, I don't know when that'll hit at some point. And then I'll be reviewing Mega Man 11 after that.
Cool.
Because I'll be reviewing the launch version of that. So get hyped for that. I mean, that's a game you can expect many things from me to talk about because I'm very excited about Mega Man 11. And that's it. Look for all that stuff at game-moose.com. When we said, also Brock's going to have stuff at brockstargaming.com.
Yeah,
I know you haven't finalized a lot of stuff.
Who knows?
There'll
be a Daredevil thing. It's coming up soon.
You know what they should do, Brock? They should just go to brockstargaming.com and then sit there and hit the refresh.
Yeah.
For every 5 seconds.
Some days I'll write like 8 things in a day, and other days I don't.
Well, they'll be the most up to date, right? If they just sit there and hit refresh.
I am working on some shit. Actually, I am working on really cool shit. So there will be reviews coming up for the adaptive controller.
No!
I have some of classic Xbox games being reviewed on the adaptive controller by people who actually need to use the adaptive controller.
That's very exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I never talked about it on the show, but there was a video I worked with CBC a few weeks ago that was with the adaptive controller.
Yeah.
And 2 players who have never been able to play together before because he couldn't handle controllers. Yeah. So this is the first thing for him.
So the adaptive controller is cool because it lets people do things that interact with games that they probably couldn't have before. That's neat. I was supposed to go to a presentation for that, and then some shit happened. I couldn't go, which is a bummer. But what can you do?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we go, Brock plugs go.
I think we said my name, Brockstar Gaming, enough. So take a look there.
Where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Brock McLaughlin, and you can find me getting to the bottom of if Donald Trump's penis looks like Toad or not. I'm on investigative journalism.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm glad they have that show still running. Drew, where can people find you?
At my house. Just come to my house.
Motherfuckers.
You just find me there eating ice cream.
I'm trying to wrap the show.
Eating my PSLs.
Yeah. I did. I had some ice cream yesterday. It was good. Was it
maple?
It's a popsicle. It's one of those Snickers ice cream
I wish
bars.
I watched you suck that.
The maple?
Yeah, sure.
The maypole?
The maypole?
The maypole?
Maple?
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 I don't know. Bees or beads? Are you saying bees or beads?
Bees.
Okay. I'm at D McMill on Twitter, and go to the website, is game-moose.com, and listen to this podcast on all those podcast services that you like to listen to.
Things and stuff.
Yeah.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford. That's TURFORD. You can see my very impressive unboxing of Loot Anime on the site now.
Yeah, that was a thing.
That is a thing that I did yesterday.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, it was just.
Is that shirt from that box?
This shirt that I'm wearing right now is
that
Astro Boy
dope
shirt.
as fuck Astro Boy shirt.
It is pretty awesome.
That. Yeah.
I like that shirt.
Yeah. So if you want to see what else I got in the box, it was mostly t-shirts, which is awesome because I like t-shirts.
You know who doesn't like t-shirts?
Then check that out on the site. You can also find us on Twitter at game_moose_cast, on Facebook at facebook.com/game@moose podcast, and of course our website, game-moose.com.
How come Astro Boy doesn't have a bulge in those very tight leather pants he wears?
Because he's a boy.
Because he's a boy.
He's a boy.
He's also a robot.
And also, those aren't pants. That's metal.
That's metal painted
I
on.
forgot he was a robot.
Yeah.
Stop the show!
Yeah.
Anyways, for Brock McLaughlin and Drew McMillan, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 140 of the Game Moose podcast, and we're out.